Let's pay homage to the Buddha, the fully enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. I'm going to pay respect to the Buddha, reciting one of the stanzas in my own language. Buddha Bodhaya Diti Tanto Yo Dhammataya Sa Dhammataya Tanto Dhammantino Vadaranaya Sa Nibuddho Nibbanataya Tan Lokatrananami Lokatrano Lokathumma Ikosaya Tasu Pyato Mudo Yo nago Buddha naga miro yadiya sindi ato tachin yaswa pyadi Buddha thissali kuro rai to twin ti myenတော်မူပြီးဖြစ်၍ဘောဓာယစာချထိုက်တာသူဘုဘလူတို့ကိုတူထင်လင်းသိကြပါစေခြင်းကြိုးငါ၎င်းတန်တော်ကိုယ်တော်ကပင်ယင်ကြည်တော်မူပြီးဖြစ်၍ဓမ္မထာယစာချထိုက်တာသူဘုဘလူတို့ကိုတူမဲ့ယင်ကြည်ကြစေခြင်းငါ၎င်းတန်တော်ကိုယ်တိုင်ကပင်ကိလေသာဟုပုခတ်သိမ့်ငြိမ်တော်မူပြီးဖြစ်၍ဓမ္မထာယစာချထိုက်တာသူဘုဘလူတို့ကိုတူမဲ့ယင်ကိလေသာပူငြိမ်းကြပါစေခြင်းငါ၎င်းဒိနောဝတန္တယာနဝံကရတံကိုကုသထုတ်ချောက်ကိုရောတိုင်းရောက်ပြီးဖြစ်၍သာလျင်ဒရဏာယစာကိုရောထတ်တူချထိုက်သူတို့နေပူတာဝံမှာပဲကံတို့ကုသံထုတ်ချောက်ရောက်ကြပါစေခြင်းချိုးငါ၎င်းနေဗုဒ္ဓကိလေသာပြိနိဗ္ဗာန်ဝင်ဆံယုတ်သိကိုရောတိုင်းအေးငြိမ်တော်မူပြီးဖြစ်၍နိဗ္ဗာနထာယစာကိုရောထတ်တူဝေနေလူတို့ပုခတ်သိငြိမ်ကြပါစေခြင်းချိုးငါ၎င်းဓမ္မနေစဉ်လေးနဓမ္မစကုဒေတိတိကရုဏာရှိထာမေတ္တာဖြင့်ဟောကြားတော်မူခဲ့ပါပေ၏လောကတရဏံလောကသုံးပါးဤကိုးစားရာတဆူဖြစ်တော်မူသောတဏ္ဍကဗုဒ္ဓနာဂမိရောယတိအစိန်တေအထုထာထုမြတ်စွာဘုရားကိုနမေနမာမိကိုနှုတ်နှလုံးသုံးစုံပြောင်းပြောမံကိုလျှော့၍ကတော်မြတ်နိုးလက်ဆုံးမိုး၍ရှိခိုးဥညွတ်ပါ၏မြတ်စွာဘုရားမြတ်စွာဘုရား
First question, Bhakti. Does the Buddha describe evolution? The human realm exists maybe for about 50,000 generations. This is not long enough for the tears to fill up the oceans. Can Bhante please kindly comment?
According to the Buddha's teaching, Buddha said, the beginning of samsara is unknown and knowable. What did the Buddha say? The beginning of samsara is unknown and knowable. So in the rounds of rebirth, along the samsara, We die in different ways. Sometimes we die in accident. Sometimes we are killed. Sometimes we die young. Sometimes we die old. The Buddha said, in the rounds of rebirth, the tear that shed is much more than the water in the great oceans. The reason is, not only in this war cycle, as you all know, as your heart, or there may be those who never heart too. The world will be destroyed, sometime by wind, sometime by water, sometime by fire. It is the destruction of the world. How many times have we experienced? It is what nobody knew about it. That's why in the rounds of rebirth, the tear that shed is much more than the water in the great oceans. This is what the Buddha meant, not related to human generations. How many generations it is unknown, unknowable. What the Buddha talked about is the tear that shed in the rounds of rebirth. With the beginning is unknown, unknowable. Why tears shed? Just because of not knowing how to make an end of suffering. If you know how to make an end of suffering, no more tears. That's why if he know how to make an end of suffering, and if he engage practicing to make an end of suffering, it is to know and to see the Four Noble Truths. With the destruction of the defilements, or with the removing of the defilements, no more tears. Your tears will stop. So that's why we don't need to think about the generation. We must think about the samsara, which is unknown and knowable. Tear is much more than great oceans.
The next question: how can we practice and apply non-self in our daily life when dealing with others?
How do we practice non-self in our daily life, dealing with others? What is non-self? Can you explain to me? If you can explain to me, I will explain you. Do you know what is the meaning of non-self? The questioner, do you understand what is non-self? How are you going to apply non-self in your daily life if you don't understand? Yes, you may understand to a certain extent what is impermanence, what is suffering, and what is non-self. You know, nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. This is what you understand from the worldly point of view. Even from the conventional point of view, you see nothing which is permanent. Everything is impermanent. But that understanding is very superficial. Non-self, it is out of control. If you understand in the superficial way of the characteristics of impermanence, even though you know from the conventional point of view, in a superficial way, on the characteristics of impermanence, you may not be able to understand the characteristics of non-self. This is the word that you had in your life when you are seeking for the Dharma. But to understand the characteristics of non-self is what is impossible even for the Buddha to be Bodhisattva. Along the way, he fulfilled the Bharami. Have you ever heard the Bodhisattva, the Buddha, to be renounced the world in many existences? 9 existences in which he ordained bhikkhu under the guidance of omniscient Buddha. Only 9 existences in the 4 incalculables and 100,000 eons. In many of other existences, he renounced the world. Sometimes he ordained hermit. He entered the forest. He practiced meditation. In the existence in which he renounced the world, not only he, many disciples follow him too. They practiced under the guidance of Bodhisattva, the Buddha to be. In most of the existences, the Buddha to be could practice concentration very deeply. Also, he could practice supernatural power. He could teach his disciples supernatural power too. In some existences, he could teach insight meditation to his disciples too. But he could not teach non-self. He could teach only impermanence and suffering. The reason is the ability to teach non-self characteristics is only of the omniscient Buddha, not of anybody. Now, we are teaching meditators to discern characteristics, function, manifestation, and approximate cause of ultimate mentality and materiality. Discerning the characteristics of earth element, discerning the function of the earth element, and discerning the manifestation of the earth element, and discerning the approximate cause of the earth element is the way to open the door to Nibbana. Without discerning these mean characteristic, function, manifestation, and approximate cause of ultimate mentality, materiality, cause, and their effects, we will not understand to the extent which can make you realize Nibbana, to the extent which can make you attain path and fruition. That's why to understand really, to understand deeply the characteristics of non-self is only after discerning characteristic, function, manifestation, approximate cause of all the ultimate truth. But if you want to apply in your daily life, you can do the way you understand. In a superficial way, or out of control. Okay? Out of control, but you must control. Out of control is just for the ultimate reality. If you don't control your conventional things, such as your defilements, such as your mind, such as your action, if you use non-self, out of control, I can't control my defilements. I can't guard my physical action and mental actions. Let it be as it is. Please don't do. Okay? So only when you understand the ultimate reality at that time you will know how to apply non-self characteristics as they really are. But please bring defilements under control, even though it is out of control.
What type of person can then aspire to attain Samma Sambuddhi, to become a Samma Sambuddha? And what type of person can aspire to become their helper, probably the chief disciples?
Do you want to be a Buddha? What type of person is suitable to be a Buddha? If you ask me this question, I want to ask you a question again. Do you want to be a Buddha? If you want to be a Buddha, you are suitable to be a Buddha. But whether you can fulfill Bharami, perfections, for incalculable and 100,000 eons or not, it depends on you. Okay? Who is suitable to be a bodhisattva? Those who have great compassion towards the beings. Also those who are going to be a Buddha, for sure, are those who received definite prophecy from a certain omniscient Buddha. Even though there may be many those who claim themselves, I'm a bodhisattva, I'm a bodhisattva, I'm a bodhisattva. Maybe you are, but may not be. Yet, if you haven't received the definite prophecy from a certain Buddha, wait until you receive the definite prophecy from the Buddha. At that time, the omniscient Buddha definitely knows that you are the one who is going to be a Buddha or not. Even though you are telling, I'm a bodhisattva. Okay? So, only when you receive the definite prophecy from a certain Buddha, from that time on, at least, you need to fulfill Bharami for incalculable and 100,000 eons. Altogether, 30 Bharamis, perfections. Consistently, in every existence, respectfully, with great compassion, giving up all the things, both living and non-living things, but also your life, your wife, your son, if necessary, your eyes. All these are what all the bodhisattva give up along the way fulfilling the Bharami. For about the chief disciple, they are those who had fulfilled one incalculable and 100,000 eons. Only those who had fulfilled one incalculable and 100,000 eons, they can be the chief disciple of the Buddha. That's why it is what nobody can say who is going to be a bodhisattva, who is going to be a chief disciple. It depends on your aspiration, and it depends on your determination. It depends on your compassion. It depends on your motivation. Those chief disciples, the time they make an aspiration, because of seeing a chief disciple of a certain Buddha, at that time they are inspired by seeing the position and the quality of the chief disciple. They are inspired very much, so they make an aspiration to be a chief disciple, and they fulfilled Bharami. If you get all these chances, you may be a Buddha or you may be chief disciple. I will be very happy, all of you, to be a Buddha.
Thank you, Bhante. Those who practice with a sense of urgency and those who practice with greed are those who practice diligently. Their behaviors are very much similar. How can we distinguish them?
Yes, their behavior are very much similar, but the essence are very much different. The one who practiced meditation diligently due to their sense of urgency, because they see the fault and the danger of sensuality that they enjoyed before. That's why they don't see the beauty of them. That's why their mind is very pure, very calm. They don't think much about sensuality. But those who are greedy, as they are so greedy, they may remember their ex-wife, their ex-husband, or their sons and daughters, or their girlfriends, their boyfriends, all together. And that they put too much effort to ignore them, and they encounter difficulty, as if they are practicing diligently, but they are with much dukkha. Okay? But those who practice meditation due to their sense of urgency, their mind is balanced. Also they see the fault and the danger of sensuality, that their mind is not overwhelmed by the five hindrances. This is the reason why they could practice meditation well. That's why greed that forces you to practice and sense of urgency that drive you to engage practicing, these two very much similar in appearance, in the way they practice, but very much different in the essence.
How should a meditator establish right view and a firm resolve on the path?
Right view and firm resolve only after knowing and seeing the ultimate reality. At the time, you will develop right view. And you know that now I am on the path, because of seeing the true nature of the conditioned Dharma, which are arising and perishing rapidly. As the Buddha taught two Dharma, conditioned Dharma and unconditioned Dharma. Conditioned Dharma are Dharma where they are arising and perishing. Unconditioned Dharma is the Dharma where all ceases. For that reason, those who see the true nature of the conditioned Dharma which are arising and perishing rapidly all the time, whether past, whether present, whether future, whether near, whether far, whether gross, whether subtle, whether superior, whether inferior. All these are just arising and perishing rapidly all the time. So at the time, right view has been developed. Firm resolve to continue meditation, to attain path and fruition, knowledge can be sustained by such practitioner. I want you to be such practitioner.
We will try. How can we ascertain if conditions for our long-term ordination are mature and fulfilled?
As I told you, it depends on how much and to which extent you know, you see the Dhamma. And your mind, point of view, your understanding on the Dhamma will help you to be in the conditions for your long-term ordination to be mature and fulfilled. It depends on sense of urgency too. If you have sense of urgency, your practicing will be developed due to your state of mind and due to your attitude. There are also some, those who haven't practiced meditation, but they could sustain their ordained life since they were young up to they die. Why? They are happy with the Dhamma, that they are studying, they are reading, they are teaching, they are sharing with others. That's why at least, if you know more the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha, deeply, even from the learning point of view. It will help you to sustain your ordained life. The more you know the Dharma, the more you understand it is very difficult even to observe precepts as a lay person. Don't you agree with me? Is it easy to observe precepts as a lay person? Whether you agree or whether you don't agree, I will share with you. There is one senior bhikkhu in this monastery who ordained earlier than me. Maybe, I think, nearly 10 years earlier than me, I think. Or 9 years, I think. He decided to choose to live ordained life. As he encountered difficulty to observe morality as a layperson, as he is making his living, he tried. He felt uneasy. He tried. He failed. Finally, he decided, no, so tired. I will choose to live ordained life. This is the beauty of ordained life. Okay? If you observe precepts, this is what you can't do as a lay person. Be happy with what you are. Happy. Be happy. Okay?
So how should an ordained person live his life from day to night and for the whole life until he's near that moment? How can the ordained people fulfill the obligations as ordained people?
In the Patijita Abhina Sutta, Buddha gave admonishment to all his sons and daughters, those who are bhikkhu and bhikkhuni. You should check yourself how you spend your day and night as an ordained person. How do you spend your daytime? How do you spend your nighttime? As an ordained person, we have only two duties: learning and practicing. We must be the one who is doing either one, learning or practicing. If you are not doing either one, you must admonish yourself. You are not fulfilling the duties of ordained person. Buddha has no defilements. Buddha taught the Dhamma not because of the defilements, just because of knowing everything clearly and with omniscient knowledge. Because of this reason, the way he wants us to be is not because of his desire, just because of his compassion and metta. Sometimes we want someone to be like this and like that. Sometimes not because of compassion, not because of metta, just because of desire. Completely different. Buddha laid down the rules. Buddha gave admonishment. All this just because of his compassion and wisdom, his loving kindness and wisdom. Every time his teaching is led by compassion and wisdom. That's why, with great compassion, seeing the dukkha and the danger and the suffering of all the beings, those whose eyes are covered up with ignorance, those who don't know the truth, those who don't know how to do for the good of oneself. So Buddha gave a guideline for those who don't know how to guide themselves. Buddha gave a guidance to protect all of you. But if you don't practice, Buddha can't protect you. Buddha is not a savior. Buddha is not your protector. Buddha is not your God. Buddha is the one who showed the way how to protect oneself, how to guard oneself, how to save oneself. So if you don't listen, it's up to you.
So the next question, could you please tell us the 10 kinds of attitudes that ordained people should keep in mind? Would this be similar to the 10 in the Pabajitena Sutta? Can Bhante just briefly mention them?
Vivoniyami iju bhagadodi papejidena abena pachavakitapan. What does it mean? So there are 10 things that one who has gone forth should often reflect upon. What are the 10? The first one, Vevoniyami Ijupagadoti Papejitena Abenan Pichavakitaban. The one who has gone forth should often reflect that I'm day by day getting older and older. My appearance are all the time changing. Are we getting younger and younger day by day? We plan to do many things, but without thinking that we are getting older and older day by day. Without thinking when we are going to die, how we are going to die, where we are going to die, with which disease we are going to die, we don't know. We plan to live here and there. We plan to do this and that. Buddha said, we are getting older and older. Our complexion is changing day by day. Day by day, we are weaker and weaker. Please, prepare before we have no energy to do for the good of oneself. When we are young, as we are strong, as we have energy, we think much about how to pursue after sensuality. Only when we are weak, we think how to seek after the Dhamma. You're so weak, not suitable to seek for the Dhamma. That's why Buddha said, every day you should reflect. You're getting older and older. Your complexions are changing. Your appearance are changing. This is what Buddha wants us to reflect as we live ordained life. Even though those who live layman life also should reflect too. Should reflect often. I'm getting older and older. Very soon I'm going to die. Okay? So another one. Prapatipadami jivikati papijitena abhinam pichavakitapan. What does the Buddha mean? One who has gone forth should often reflect. My living is dependent on others. Are you aware of it? As we live ordained life, as we are meditators, as we are yogis, we are dependent on others. Do you want to say you are depending on your requisites? Who offer you that requisites? Don't be proud because of having a lot of requisites. Don't make use in the wrong way. Okay? So if you are proud of having a lot of requisites, it will make you fall to 404 states. Better, even though you have a lot of requisites, you should practice like you have nothing. Okay? Buddha established order of ordained persons, order of Sangha. It is to get the opportunity to engage practicing meditation. If we need to depend on our effort, if we need to depend on our money, what do you need to do? You need to make your living. You know how difficult for you to come here. You stop everything. Okay? But you have much worry. What will be my future if I stay here a long time? Because you have your future remain life. For that reason, you think much about your future. If you are the one who can make a decision to live ordained life, due to understanding the importance of seeking the Dharma, spending life as an ordained person, you will see how great the establishment of the order of Sangha by the Buddha. Buddha taught the Dharma, which is very beautiful at the beginning, very beautiful at the middle, very beautiful at the end. Because of hearing it, those who want to do for the good of themselves, they seek the opportunity to support the ordained persons. They know that it is very great to support to those who are practicing Sila. Why do lay devotees support those who are practicing Sila? Because of the teachings of the Buddha. That's why understanding the benefit of offering, supporting to the ordained persons, those who live ordained life, practicing morality, practicing concentration and practicing insight. There appear those who want to support to the sasana, the teachings of the Buddha and the order of ordained person. For that reason, we depend on the lay supporters. If we have this understanding, if we reflect this every day, we fed. Lay supporters are very great to all of us. True? And then you will consider how to pay back the gratitude, at least practicing your morality. This is the only way to pay the gratitude back. There is no any other way. Also, the understanding to sustain your goodness will arise in you. If we don't do so, we have danger. Buddha taught the Dharma to lay devotee. How great the benefit of supporting the ordained person, those who are practicing morality. Lay devotee, they support us, believing that these are those who are practicing morality. They offer for those who are pure in morality, not to those who are unvirtuous. So if you are not virtuous, you have danger. That's why you need to reflect every day. My living is dependent on others. Who are others? You know. So this is second thing that we need to reflect. Another one. Anyo mi akapo karaniyo di papijite na abena pachawakitapan. One who has gone forth should often reflect. My behavior and manner must be completely different from that of layperson. You need to reflect often. My behavior and manner must be completely different from that of layperson. not to behave like a layman, not to behave like a layperson. Ordained person must behave like ordained person. Otherwise, those who see ordained person, those who don't practice in a way ordained person should practice, what do they feel? What will you cause them? You are the cause to make them feel unhappy. You are the one who caused them to accumulate unwholesome karma. That's why we need to sustain our goodness. We need to sustain the way we should as an ordained person. Otherwise, you are the one who disturb yourself. You are the one who disturb others. You are the one who destroy your lay supporters too. This is the way we all need to reflect. What is another one? Kichi nukomi atta sila do na upavadeti papijite na abena pichawakitapan. One who has gone forth should often reflect, do I reproach myself in regard to virtuous behavior? Do you understand this translation? Do I reproach myself in regard to virtuous behavior? I will explain in simple English. But I don't mean that you don't understand. Only for those whose English are not as good as native speakers. So Buddha wants us to reflect our virtue every day. Am I the one who is practicing morality of ordained person? For Sialis, you need to practice 10 precepts. Buddha wants all of you to reflect whether you break your precepts, killing, stealing, telling lies. So these are what we all need to reflect. If we don't reflect what happened, we are heedless. We will do heedlessly. We will do many wrong actions. That's why we should reflect. If we are reflecting often, every day, we become mindful. We try to observe what we need to as an ordained person. Another one, Kichi Nukoman, Anuvecha Vinyu, Sa Brahmachari, Silato, Na Upavadeti, Papijite na Abenan, Pachawakitapan. One who has gone forth should often reflect, do my wise fellow monks, having investigated, reproach me in regard to virtuous behavior? Very important too. Be aware of oneself. Be aware of the view of our fellow bhikkhu towards us. If they have doubt in the regard of virtue, at the time we will be heedful. If we notice, if we reflect whether my fellow bhikkhus, having investigated, do they reproach me in regard to virtuous behavior? If any of your fellow bhikkhus, if he reproach you, why did you do this? Why did you do that at that time? You got the opportunity to reflect oneself. And you got the opportunity to improve yourself. That's why we all need to reflect often about this. Another one. Sabbehi me, piyehi, manabehi, nana bhava vina bhavati, papijitena abena pichavakitapan. One who has gone forth should often reflect, I must be parted and separated from everyone and everything dear and agreeable to me. So some, they miss their parents. They miss their beloved ones. We should reflect. We must be parted and separated from everyone and everything dear and agreeable to us. Whether you desire, whether you have no desire, whether you want, whether you don't want, you must be parted and separated from everyone and everything dear and agreeable to you. If you don't reflect, you will forget what is important in your life. You will forget to do what is really important in your life. Also, because of reflecting in this way, understanding arises in you that one day I'm going to separate, I'm going to depart with everyone and everything dear and agreeable. Only if we do repeatedly at that time, our understanding will become firm. And then we will engage, practicing what can be protection for you. Protection from what can make us unhappy with encountering undesirable, disagreeable in the future. Because of reflecting, you will engage practicing what can help you to be able to accept without wavering for those what is not really important, what is the nature of life. So another one. Kamma sakomi kamma dayedo kamma yoni kamma bandhu kamma pati sarano yang kamman karisami kalyanamwa papakamwa tassa dayedo bhavisami ti papititena abhina pichawaki tapan. What did the Buddha say? One who has gone forth should often reflect, I am the owner of my karma, the heir of my karma. I have karma as my origin, karma as my relative, karma as my refuge. I will be the heir of whatever karma, good or bad, that I do. This is what we all need to reflect. So we will be according to our karma. Your beloved ones will be according to their karma. Your friends will be according to their karma. So because of reflecting this again and again, that repeated reflection will remind you not to participate with those which can make you feel suffering. And it will make you develop loving kindness. It will be a driving force for you to develop equanimity towards all the desirable and undesirable things. Whatever happens desirable and undesirable to you, to your beloved ones, is according to past and present karma. Nothing happens without causes. Because of understanding, everybody are going to be according to their karma, as the heir of their karma. By reflecting this again and again, you will develop loving kindness. Just by developing loving kindness is not enough. You need to develop equanimity towards them. This reflection is for the development of equanimity towards oneself and others. Almost all the people in the world think about to do for the good of beloved ones, to see good things with the beloved ones, but doesn't want to see, doesn't want to meet with undesirable. So by reflecting it, so equanimity towards oneself, equanimity towards others can be developed. So another one, number 8. One who has gone forth should often reflect, how am I spending my nights and days? This is what I have already explained. Number 9. One who has gone forth should often reflect, do I take delight in empty hearts? Do I take delight in the forest? Do I take delight in the meditation center? Do I take delight in practicing meditation? Do I take delight in speaking? Do I take delight in sleeping? Do I take delight in cooking? Okay? You must ask. Okay? If you don't reflect it, you will do what the Buddha don't want you to do. Number 10. One who has gone forth should often reflect, have I attained my superhuman distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones, so that in my last days, when I am questioned by my fellow monks, I will not be embarrassed. The one who gone forth should often reflect, have I attained any superhuman distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones? This is what we all need to reflect. Have I attained something special? On my last day, my fellow bhikkhus are going to ask, my friend, is there anything that you have attained? What cannot make you worry for your future? Have you any superhuman attainment? If our fellow bhikkhus or our beloved ones ask when we are at the near death, at that time, if you have to give an answer, no, what do you feel? Okay? You will feel very sorry. Okay? Considering this, you all need to reflect. Have I attained any superhuman distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones? So that in my last days, when I am questioned by my fellow monks, I will not be embarrassed. Okay? Good enough, I think. Already too long.
Thank you, Bhante. So one of them is delighting in empty hearts, that is delighting in solitude. So what are the benefits of living alone and what are the faults of living with many people?
There are 3 types of solitude. Kaya viveka, physical solitude. Citta viveka, mental solitude. And upadi viveka, the solitude that we achieve when we attain superhuman knowledge, superhuman attainment, path and fruition. So, without physical solitude, it is difficult to develop mental solitude. Without having developed mental solitude, it is impossible to attain another superior solitude, which is the attainment of path and fruition, taking Nibbana as object. It is upadi viveka. There is no arising and perishing, void of arising and perishing. There is only real happiness, taking Nibbana as object, so you attain solitude, very much far from all those what you understand in your daily life, happiness, what you achieved through pursuing after the sensuality. These are not the real happiness. So, if it is possible, we should be alone. If we want to engage practicing meditation, we should find the opportunity to be alone. If you are alone, if you have fulfilled the Bharami in the round of rebirth, related to the teachings of the Buddha, such as the training of morality, the training of concentration, the training of insight. Like a bodhisattva, when he was very young, under the rose apple tree, when there is no attendance, those who went to see a plowing festival held by the kings of Dodana, father of the bodhisattva. At that time, when he wake up, he saw nobody around him. His mind immediately inclined to practice meditation because he was alone. Those who love the Dharma, if they got the opportunity to be alone, they practice meditation. This is for their happiness. But, for sure, it is not easy to be alone. So, the most important thing is to develop mental solitude. Even though we are with others, we all need to train not to get involved with all those what is not important and necessary for you. As we know, all the people in the world are doing many unnecessary things. All the meditators here in Pa-Auk, they are also doing many unnecessary things. That's why they have many involvement. They have a lot of participating. How can you develop mental solitude? If you have no mental solitude, you can't develop one-pointed mind on one object. Citta viveka is the attainment of absorption concentration. Okay? At that time, your mind is not overwhelmed. Your mind is away from five hindrances. At that time, your mind is pure. Your mind is one-pointed mind. At that time, you attain the mental solitude. Okay? So, because of this reason, when you develop mental solitude, as the Buddha said, the one who is concentrated, the one who develop one-pointed mind, the one who develop mental solitude is the one who is going to know, going to see the Dhamma as they really are, and they are going to attain Upadi Viveka, Nibbana as the object which is the real happiness. This is the final solitude.
Pertaining to solitude, there are a few related questions. One of them is, if your friend is someone who will get you involved in a lot of unnecessary things, should you then stay away from the person?
Yes.
And Venerable Sariputta was a noble disciple who had a large number of followers and a close spiritual friend, Venerable Mahamoggallana. He was well known as a friendly and humble person. At the same time, he was also praised by the Buddha as having the quality of being secluded. What is the balancing point of having many companions and yet still be able to maintain seclusion as an ordained person? And the Buddha established the Bhikkhu Sangha to enable people from different parts of the world to practice the Dharma together and to support one another. In my own personal experience, when many people from different places come together, it is difficult for them to get along harmoniously, as each person has its own undesirable habits. Most people are reluctant to be tolerant and forgiving. Thus, they resort to being secluded. Perhaps seclusion is beneficial for the meditation practice, but this attitude has caused the minds of meditators to harden and to be cold, selfish, disunited, and reluctant to help and care for others. I feel that many meditators have a warped and contorted mind. Can Bhante please kindly enlighten us on the way to live in a community and in seclusion?
Why the Venerable Sariputta can do for the good of many. Why he can develop seclusion even though he has a lot of companions? Just because of having no defilements. This is the main reason. He do for the good of many, not with defilements. His mind is not defiled by the defilements. He has no involvement. What is involvement? Just because of defilements. He has this act, helping, no disturbing. Nobody can disturb him too, because of having no defilements. So powerful. That's why, if you can help people, your fellow bhikkhus, with pure heart, accepting all their goodness and all their weakness too, okay, only then you can help them. Also, everybody should emphasize how to help each other with pure heart. Not to disturb anybody. Please consider all the time. Whatever I'm going to do, it is just to help. If I am the one who have no ability to help others, I will not do. If I'm not skillful to do for the good of others also, please don't do anything. If you do, you will disturb yourself. You will disturb others too. Also, all of us need to train not to expect any help from anybody. This is important. Oh, he's selfish. He didn't do anything for me. Don't do like this. Why? We all need to know our limit. We all need to know to which extent we should get involved with others. Are you getting involved? Why? We all have defilement. We all have our limit. We can't go beyond. If we go beyond, we encounter difficulty. But I want to say if you encounter difficulty because of going beyond, at that time, please stop speaking, telling, doing anything at that time. Stop. Keep quiet. Because it is beyond your limit. Otherwise, you will explode. Okay? Understand? Okay.
Yes, thank you. Then, when we show metta towards others, whether they are of the same or opposite gender, others may be attached to us and cause certain level of disturbance in our daily life. So, Bhante, how can we show metta without arousing attachment by other people?
Yeah, we must be wise. We must be wise in helping others. Helping is very good. But to be able to do for the good of others, we need to choose the right word. We need to show the right expression. We need to show the right action. Appearance, behavior, mental behavior, physical behavior, your physical action, all these are very important. If you just give a hand without expecting anything, just you know that this is the time I need to give a hand to him. Someone who really want to do for the good of others, and those who are skillful in doing for the good of others, and those who always consider, is there anybody instead who can help him, who can help her? He observes first. Why? There may be those who are suitable to help him or her better than we can do. If you don't see anybody, to the extent what you can, you should try at that time. If many, I want to help him, what happened? You always argue each other. Okay? So that's why this is also one thing you all need to consider. If someone is going to help, please be happy. Okay? You also want to help. She also want to help. You will quarrel. Okay? That's why doing for the good of others also what we all need to understand. The limit and the scale and the time and condition and to which we are going to help. And also you need to know your mind attitude too. Sometimes if you want the receiver know how much you care and you cause problem. Okay, you cause problem. You don't know how to help. Don't show how much you care. It is not helping, it is showing attachment. It is not the way to do. It disturbs you, it disturbs the receiver too. Receiver will afraid to receive your help. He will run away. Okay?
But Bante, if one is very skillful in helping and the receiver is very much attached to you, then how do you deal with it?
It is the fault of that receiver. Okay? Should stop. Should stop, otherwise you will disturb him or her. Okay?
The receiver should stop.
Yeah, no.
The one who is helping should stop helping.
Should stop. Otherwise, because we all need to understand the scale and the maturity of individual receiver too. You also need to understand your limit and your maturity too. Otherwise, both will encounter difficulty. Okay? There will be explosion. Understand?
Okay, related to metta, Bante, as a female, is it alright to send metta to you? You said that we should send metta to people of the same sex, but I send metta to myself, my family, and then to Bante, wishing, may my Bante be well and happy and finally attain Nibbana. Is this okay, or should I stop doing this?
No need to stop. Before you attain jhana concentration, you can radiate metta. Okay?
To people of a different sex.
Yeah. What I mean, just general. Okay, just general. But when you attain jhana concentration, at that time, please stop radiating metta to the different gender. At that time, because of concentration, it will cause problem. Okay? Concentrated mind can make you see things as they really are. And it will cause you, okay, encounter problem. Okay? Now read the Visuddhimagga.
Yeah, the questioner asks, why does Visuddhimagga have different metta instruction from that of the Buddha, who said that we can send metta to all beings regardless of sex?
It is for unspecified and specified being at that time. All the female, all the male, in general, because it is what the Buddha understands clearly. That's why Buddha protect us. Okay? Also, if you're going to radiate metta towards any different gender, you also need to check your mind. Okay? You need to know your attitude. You need to know your mindset. You need to know your inclination. If it is not safe, please don't do. Okay? If it is safe, okay. Because it is general. Okay?
So, related to this, Vinaya is said to be the life of the Buddha Sasana. When we Sialays need to communicate with a bhikkhu, how should we treat him in order to protect his Vinaya and to protect ourselves too? How should we conduct ourselves in our bodily, verbal and mental actions?
As I have explained all of you, how to help each other, I think it includes in my answer.
Does Buddhism encourage Buddhists or ordained people to donate their body organs when they die? Is there any example in the Buddha's time?
There is no specific example as I knew about the teachings of the Buddha, but Buddha makes use of very beautiful lady dead body for the realization of the Dharma, for the Sangha. Do you remember? Sirima. Sirima. Who is she? Courtesan. She was very beautiful. So when she died, her body was swollen. Okay? So ugly. Smelly. When she was alive, she was for the development of attachment to her beauty. The same body, when she died, it becomes the development of the Dharma to those who have wise attention. So Buddha used such dead body. As you all know, in India, since ancient time up to now, but now it's not very sure, but long time ago, they didn't bury it. They just fold with cloth and then they enter the forest and throw away. Okay? There are many dead bodies in the forest. Birds, they come and eat. Animals, they come and eat. They just kept like this, throw away the dead body in the forest. Okay?
So then in today's context, is organ donation upon death encouraged in Buddhism? What they do in medicine is that when a person is certified as dead, brain dead, they will harvest the organs.
We don't see direct teaching in the Dharma, but we should understand like this. If we are going to do something, offering, if it is not for the bad of others, if it is not for the harm of others, if it is not for the suffering of others, it is what we are suggested to do. If it is harmful, it is unbeneficial, it is for their danger, both party, for the one who is going to do, for the one who is going to receive, we should not do. It depends on the purpose and the reason, and the place they are going to use, and the way they are going to use too.
So the person asks, if a Buddhist has nimitta at near-death moment, but he donates his organ, is it possible for the pain of organ harvesting to cause his akusala mind to arise, resulting in the instability or the disappearance of the nimitta, and hence a bad rebirth?
Just 3 days ago, I shared with one of my disciples, who is a doctor. When we are seriously ill, I told her, if you have this opportunity to maintain focusing on the meditation object, it will be very good. Now I see many patients, those who are seriously ill, in their body, in their nose, a lot of pipes. Okay? How suffer he or she will be. As you know, how can you focus on the meditation object at that time? If I'm going to die, I remind all of you, don't do like this to me. I will focus on my meditation object. Okay? I practice patience, but I don't want this. Okay?
So don't send you to the hospital.
Don't send to the hospital. Why? We can train our mind, but with external instruments, so difficult, so disturbance. Okay? That's why the question is related to this. Okay? If we really want to help all the dying persons, we must consider what to do. Not just to think about the benefit of others. If it is beneficial for both parties, it is good. If it is bad for one, good for others, at that time, if we are the third party, we need to consider much. Otherwise, we do for the good of one, we do for the bad of others. Sometimes we do for the good of many is what we need to be very reasonable and very wise. Otherwise, we think, we show, I'm doing for the good of others. But you don't tell, I'm doing for the bad of this. Okay, sometimes it may happen. So we must be very careful. Okay?
My non-Buddhist parents are very old. Can Bhante kindly advise how I can teach them to take care of their minds at the near-death moment?
As they are not Buddhist, non-Buddhist, as they have no faith on law of karma, if you have no right condition to share the Dharma with them, it is not easy to help them. But the way you can help them is a way to remind them to remember good deeds that they have done in their life, whether Christians, whether non-Buddhists, whether Buddhists, whether free thinkers. For sure, they have done many good things in their life. If they remember, it is good for them. In the Devas realm, there are many those who are not the disciples of the Buddha, those who are reborn as the Devas, because of their good deeds done too. That's not possible. We don't need to think much about how to make them a religious people, just to help them how to be the one who can do for the good of themselves.
So if an ordinary person is reborn in the Brahma realm, can he still continue his meditation practice there and go on to attain path and fruition?
We need to consider about him. To be able to reborn in the Brahma realm is to practice jhana, absorption, concentration, and to practice mastery of the absorption, concentration, and to sustain up to the near-death time. Only such yogis, such persons are going to be reborn in the Brahma realm. And as a human, the time he practiced meditation or the time she practiced meditation, to which extent he or she had realized the Dhamma. If he or she is the one who had penetrated ultimate mentality, materiality, causes and their effects, and the one who knows how to practice insight meditation, contemplating impermanent suffering, non-self on the conditional Dhamma, to a certain extent. Yes, if he or she is going to be reborn in the Brahma realm, he knows how to practice insight meditation there. He can rely on his practice, what he had done as a human. If he is not the one who practiced insight meditation, the time he is a human, if he is going to be reborn in the Brahma realm, mostly he spent his lifetime entering the jhana, concentration. Fortunately, as their lifespan is very, very long, they're going to meet with another future Buddha. If they are mindful, if they are heedful, they're going to see the Buddha and they're going to listen to the Dhamma and they're going to penetrate the Dhamma too. Possible.
So similarly, to be reborn in the Arupa realm, you need also Arupa jhanas.
Yes.
I heard that if a person is reborn in the Arupa realm, he will not be able to meet the Buddha nor hear the Dhamma, so it is not good to be reborn there.
As a Puthujjana, it is bad to be reborn there. Okay? If someone are going to be reborn in the Arupa Brahma realm after attaining path and fruition when they were humans, it is fine. They can continue practice insight meditation for the higher attainment by themselves.
Even in Arupa realm?
Yes, possible. As a Puthujjana, if they are going to be reborn in the Arupa Brahma realm, like the two teachers who the Bodhisattva approached the time he renounced the world, who taught him 7 attainments and 8 attainments. They choose to practice mastery for the arupa jhana, immaterial jhana, thinking that this is the best and superior one. And they died and they took rebirth in the arupa Brahma realm. When the Bodhisattva attained full enlightenment, at that time, he seek for to whom he should teach the Dhamma. The first persons who appear in the mind of the Buddha is these two teachers. They are very great, they are very honest, they are very humble, they are very wise. If I'm going to teach the Dhamma, they're going to realize the Dhamma very soon and quickly. The Buddha finally knew that they took rebirth in the Arupa Brahma realm, and Buddha uttered great loss. Great loss. Because they have no eyes, there is no materiality, there is no body, there is only mentality there. That's why they have no ears to hear the Dhamma. They have no eyes to see the Buddha. That's why they lost a great opportunity.
So, Bhante, for one who has mastery in Arupa jhanas, can he choose not to be reborn in Arupa realm?
Yeah, possible.
Bhante, is it possible for a male and a female to be together in multiple lives in a relationship?
Do you want? Yeah, according to the Buddha's teaching, if you have the same saddha, okay, sila, chaga, panya, if these qualities are the same, you're going to meet in one existence after another. You know, saddha, you have the same faith. Okay? Sila, you have the same morality. Chaga, chaga is generosity. Panya, wisdom. Who is going to have the same faith, the same morality, the same generosity, and the same wisdom? Those who have attained path and fruition knowledges are those who have the same degree of faith to the Buddha, to the Dhamma, to the Sangha. They have the same sila. They will never break 5 precepts. They have the same generosity. If the wife is going to offer, the husband will not stop. If the husband is going to offer to the Buddha, to the Sangha, the wife will not stop. They have the same wisdom. They can enter fruition anytime they want. If they want to meet again and again, they can meet. Not more than 7 existences.
But may I know what's the cause for the start of the appearance of the Order of Sialays in Myanmar? During the Buddha's time, there were only summonaries and not Sialays.
Yes. According to the researchers, those who do research about the appearing of Sialay in Myanmar, in the Theravada tradition, in the year Sasana era, 500, no more bhikkhuni in the Theravada tradition. So in the Ceylon, in Sri Lanka, so when Brahmana Tesa, their group, rebels, so because of them, the sasana in the Sri Lanka declined. In the commentary of Mahaparinibbana Sutta, there it is explained. At that time, only 12 number of bhikkhuni survived when the Brahmana Tesa rebelled against the government at that time. So many other places, when they talk about the bhikkhuni, with many fellow bhikkhuni, they stay here, they stay there. At that time, they survive. But it is so difficult at that time. There is no supporters. That's why in the Theravada tradition, it is said, in the Sasana era, 500, at that time, no more Theravada Bhikkhuni. So, there is different dynasty in our country. Pure dynasty. You know Bagan? So, Pure dynasty is before Bagan. Bagan dynasty. And after that, Inward dynasty. Started from the Inward dynasty, there appear Siali. It is Myanmar era. Myanmar era 762, Siali started. It is what they have recorded.
Okay? What is the equivalent in the Common Era?
Now, Sasana era is 2577. So, Myanmar era is 1375. Okay? So please make.
Okay. The alms bowls of bhikkhus are usually black in color. However, why is it that in Pa-Auk Meditation Center, Sialis are not allowed to use black bowls?
As Sialis are what Theravada Mathera, those who want to do for the good of women who want to live ordained life. They find the opportunity to live ordained life. That's why Mathera make Siali appear. As you know, not only now, but also many, many years ago, there are ladies who want to renounce the world. They want to practice meditation, they want to live with the Dharma, they want to spend their lifetime seeking for the Dharma. For that reason, even though there is no bhikkhuni in the Theravada tradition, they make Siali appear for the good of them. As they are not bhikkhuni, if they are allowed to use black bowl, it will be like a bhikkhu. Okay? In the Vinaya, lay persons are not allowed to use bhikkhu's bowl. Lay devotees are not allowed to eat in the bowl, because this is what we need to respect. That's why Siali, I don't think they are low status. High and low, it depends on your point of view. But they didn't get the opportunity to ordain the way the Buddha wants us to ordain. Also, we all need to study the teachings of the Buddha way. How should we ordain to be ordained person? We need sima. We need proper sangha. Okay? And we need proper recitation. We need proper formula, Pali formula. Not with any other languages. If there is no proper sima, if there is no proper sangha, if there is no proper formula, if there is no proper pronunciation, we will not be bhikkhu, bhikkhuni. So bhikkhuni must be ordained in both parties. First in the bhikkhuni. Second in the bhikkhuni. Okay? That's why Siali are those who didn't get this opportunity. That's why should we allow them to use bowl the way bhikkhus use what the Buddha allowed us? No. That's why.
Then are Sialis allowed to ride on motorcycles, especially when travelling from lower to upper monastery? Very often while going to the upper monastery, this Siali is offered a ride, but she's not sure whether it is proper or not.
Bhikkhus, those who stay in Pa-Auk, they are not allowed to ride the motorcycle.
But as a pillion rider at the back?
Yes, two. Those who come, newly come, as you know, not many years ago, just few years ago, in our country, bhikkhus start. They sit behind as a pillion rider. Okay? So, It is also what our Myanmar Bhikkhu didn't do for a long, long time, but only just a few years ago they started. So those who are going to stay here, even though at that time they come with the motorcycle as a pillion rider, after that we remind them, don't use motorcycle. Okay? Why? The purpose of establishing the order of Sangha is to do for the good of later Buddhas. To make those who have no faith, Buddha laid down the rules. To make those who have no faith to have faith. Those who have faith on the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, to increase faith on the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. Because of this, their misbehavior, it will cause those who have faith not to have faith. It will be for the declining of the teachings of the Buddha. It is for the disappearing of the Buddha's teaching from this country, from this world. That's why if it is possible, please don't take easy. Please walk. It is better.
Or take the lorry. Okay, so pertaining to Vinaya still, ordained people can have money in their accounts and buy things they like through kapiyas. The money in their accounts is for their personal use. Then, are they not just like lay people who have money just without kapiya? Why does the Vinaya prohibit monks from touching or asking for money directly?
Who has the account? Who has the account? Bhikkhus are not allowed to have account. But one thing happened in this monastery. Maybe the questioner misunderstand the usage. Here, one of the foreigner bhikkhus informed me about this. The lady in the office, they ask when the bhikkhus needs requisites, what is your account number? Actually, they make easy as a record for the bhikkhus, but they don't know, they should not use this usage. So the one who informed me about it suggested me to change. So I have told them to change. Now I told them, please use ID number. Okay? Actually, later Bodhi had offered, because they can't remember individual bhikkhu's name. Very difficult. Because they make record of the name appear in the passport, not the bhikkhu ordained name. For that reason, so difficult to pronounce, and they make easy, but they wrongly use the usage. I told them, please announce all the foreigners, we are going to use ID number. Okay? Okay? So, bhikkhus are not allowed to accept money, to touch money. Bhikkhus are allowed to ask requisites from relatives and those who have invited properly. Bhikkhu can ask allowable requisites. Bhikkhu can't ask money. Okay?
Why did the Buddha prohibit monks from getting gold or silver, but it is possible for them to get dana of land property which cost more?
So, related to the money, why the Buddha prohibited bhikkhu not to accept, not to touch money? Related to it, I need to share with all of you a little bit more. As the Buddha said in one sutta, Mani Sulaka Sutta, okay, there, I can't allow my sons, bhikkhu and bhikkhuni, to accept money in any way. If money is allowable, all the sensuality are allowable too. Okay? Who can possess sensuality? Who had money? If bhikkhus are allowed to use money, they will be like laymen. Whatever they want to do, they will do. Buddha is very wise. Buddha allowed to ask allowable requisites from lay supporters. Do they dare to ask something not proper from the lay supporters? Cannot. They dare not do. Okay? But if they can do by themselves, who knows? They will do whatever they want. Okay? This is a danger. That's why if money are allowable, sensualities are allowable too. That's why if we see the benefit of the rules that the Buddha laid down, we will be very happy. Beautiful is the training of morality. So great. If you understand more and more, you will love practicing more and more. Okay?
So, Bhante, another question pertaining to this. One bhikkhuni asked someone in the monastery to buy something, for example, fruits for her, and she herself offered to the Sangha. Is this in accordance to the Vinaya? As I understand, for food that is not offered by a lay person, if a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni touches it, the food becomes unallowable, ahosi.
It depends on tradition. Okay? As you all know, in the Theravada tradition, there is no bhikkhuni. For that reason, we have no such idea. If we are the same tradition, we will consider about this. Okay?
Okay, then another question. It says, if a bhikkhu buys food and asks the lay person to offer him every day, or asks the lay person to cook and offer him every day, is this allowable? Is this according to Vinaya?
He buys?
Yeah. That's how it's worded.
Oh.
The bhikkhu buys food.
Unallowable. Unallowable. And Nissaggiya, every day he commit offense. Okay? It is offense. Also, if lay devotee knows that a certain bhikkhu is not get along with the food here, until that time, if you are patient, it will be good. If a certain lay devotee or those who respect him, he's not get along with the food here, if they are going to arrangement themselves, be happy with it. If it is not, you should practice patience, you should develop contentment, otherwise it will be not for the good of you.
Bhante, as we know in this monastery, we have ID numbers and requisites tied to the ID numbers. So if the bhikkhu were to arrange for food through a kapya using the requisites tied to the ID number, is this allowable?
If they properly invite and if they properly ask, it is okay.
The bhikkhu initiates.
If they don't practice this, it is better. Okay, but if they encounter really so difficult, so we will not see anything. We will ignore them. But I want to suggest them, please be patient.
So the next question, as I understand, Chaitanya is karma, so a good Chaitanya will make good karma. If a lay person does not know that offering money to a Theravada monk is not allowable, and they offer money to bhikkhus with a good mind, what kind of karma has he committed? Good or bad?
Good and bad depend on what they are going to encounter. We should not think just about one party, the donors, but about the receiver. As I told all of you, doing good is doing for the good of oneself and others. As you all know, all the Putujana, all the ordinary people, or in other words, those who have defilements, those who have ego, those who have self, identity view, almost all of them, or most of them, whatever they are going to do, they have expectation for the good of themselves too. But in the teachings of the Buddha, receiving money and doing construction using that money is so dangerous. It is unallowable bidding for all the bhikkhu in the world. There is no way to make allowable. For that reason, if they practice in such kuti, if they dwell for the rest of their life, knowing that they have done this, they can cheat others, they can't cheat themselves. There is no bhikkhus who don't know that Buddha didn't allow them to accept money. They have doubt. Also, they felt guilty for what they have done. This is the danger. So lay devotee, if we think much about their cetana, what is their cetana? To do for the bed of bhikkhus? Not. Just because of not knowing how to provide bhikkhu sangha. That's why we must follow the teachings of the Buddha strictly, just by telling, I don't accept money. What will he feel? If he is a devoted lay devotee, he will find a way. Why? Why the bhikkhu didn't accept? I want to offer so much. Is there any way? He will find a way. If he is not devoted lay devotee, very stupid bhikkhu. Better, he go away, better. Okay? If such lay devotee doesn't come and see, better, good. Okay? Why? He need to learn. He need to observe the proper way to provide the teachings of the Buddha and those who are living as a bhikkhu, doing for the good of oneself and others. That's why no need to worry. Just follow the words of the Buddha. Just say, we are not allowed to accept money. I don't accept money. Just this. You can't teach at that time. You can do like this. You can't do.
Okay, quick question. Are robes offered beyond 1 month from Katina considered as improper time robes? Many well-practiced Yadors and Mahatheras often receive such improper time robes from devotees from different parts of the world. Since they can't wear the improper time robes, what are the merits of such offerings for the donors?
Who told you they can't wear? Only akala jivara. Akala jivara means the robe set occur not in the and the robe set offered. So akala jivara, for those who have no privileges because of not spreading the katina, they have 1 month, 1 month time, which is after the end of Vasa. 1 month, I don't know how to say in English. So akala jivara for them is 11 months. For 11 months it is akala jivara. So for those who receive the 5 privileges because of spreading the katina, except 5 months, 7 months, it is akala jivara. Even the time when they receive the 5 privileges at that time. If the donors come and offer, as this is just for one day, okay, it is also Akala Jivara too. Only if they say Sangasa Dema, it becomes the Jivara, the robes for all the Sangha. Okay? Also, those who spend Vasa in the monastery, not for those who come later. But if they offer, not as a Sangika, in times of Katina, all the robes are what we can offer to all the bhikkhu, those who spend Vasa time, or those who come later too. Okay?
So a bhikkhu can wear Akala Chivara?
This is what they can wear. Okay?
Okay.
Toby. Toby, 8:19 already.
Okay. So, just very short last one, which I should have asked at the beginning of the Q&A. Bhante, can you please briefly explain the meaning of the chant that you gave?
Please read in my Dhamma book.
Bearers of the Burden?
Or in the Awakened Old. Okay? Please read there.
So, Bhante, thank you very much for your time.
Okay. You will share my wisdom. Repeat after me. Idam me punyam asavakayam vaham hotu idam me punyam nibbanasa pacayo hotu mama punya bhagam sabba satanam bhajimi De sabbe me samam punya bhagam nabantu sadhu sadhu.